Harris?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Catwall?
Yes.
Okay, invocation or a moment of silence. Certainly have a lot of things we need to think about. Citywide, countrywide, worldwide. Okay. No public delegation tonight. Superintendent report and board discussion.
Right, thank you. There's a number of things I want to talk to you guys about tonight. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is basketball. There's a couple of topics in there, but our boys and girls teams are off to a great start. I cannot say enough about the coaches. Coach Beatty is doing a spectacular job with the girl athletes. They are really coming along, and I'm seeing improvement in them all the time. Our boys won their first game against Navajo here. That was really
That's a good game.
that was a good game. I had a lot of fun watching that. They came together as a team. You could actually see them just gelling as a team and playing really well. But one of the things that was really good about that game was that the Comanche Nation veterans came down and did the presentation of colors and the national anthem for us. That was really something to see, and I really appreciated that a lot. Our next home game is in December the 1st against Tipton. So please mark your calendar. The state is now requiring 3 refs at our high school games. So for the junior high boys and girls games, there's 2, but there's an increased cost now for 3 refs for the high school games. The refs are $60 for the junior high and $65 for each ref for each game for the boys and girls high school. So it's increased our costs.
It was $630 for that home game because we had 2 junior high, 2 high school, and
So one of the things that we may have to talk about and discuss a little bit is the entry fee for patrons coming in. Right now we're charging $5 for adults and I believe $3 for the students to come in. I don't want to increase the adult cost, and I think everyone else around us is doing something similar, but at some point we may need to discuss increasing the student costs coming in so that it can help defray some of the cost for the referees. We are barely making enough money on the entries to pay for the refs. I'm just gonna let you know.
What about the concessions? Does that apply to that or not?
it's doing good.
Yeah, the concessions are doing pretty well. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 for the concession. But it's something that we need to think about and discuss because the money that we generate for that, can go for paying for food. It can pay for the travel. Can pay for new equipment, that sort of thing. But the cost just keeps going up for everything.
I know.
So it's just something to think about. I don't want to bring a vote today, but I want us to begin to think about it because I want to gather all the information. What are the other districts doing? What does it look like? And do we really need to do this? I want to make sure that we have all the information before we take it to the board for a vote. But it's maybe something that we need to really consider. And the reason I'm even considering it at all is that overall, our athletic program and our activity account for that is barely generating enough money to keep the athletic program in good shape. And so it's just something we need to think about. If we can do it without, we'll do without, and we'll keep the prices exactly what they are. Again, the adult prices stay exactly the same. We're looking at the potential for students and bringing that up. And I think that some of the other districts have 5 and 5 for students and 5 for the adults.
Well, your gate is lower too because you've got all the veterans, which we do, and the firefighters and the senior citizens. So there's a lot of income that's not, but I mean that's what everybody does.
You're saying that they don't get charged?
Right.
Right, they do not get charged.
62 and over, I think, are free. The volunteer firefighters and then veterans.
So So the entry basically pays for the officiating, and then the concession stand is,
Yeah, then, but you've got your cost for the supplying the concession stand.
but it wasn't $1,000 though, right?
No, it's probably about 600 for a month or more.
600 for one game? Because we only have one game this month. Then we start
Yeah, now this
December.
month, that's good.
Right.
But if, I mean, it's usually, every time they go, it's over $300 to stock the concession.
It's pretty expensive, and, you know, again, it's, I'll give you an example. We had to buy practice jerseys for our kids.
Practice jerseys?
Practice jerseys, not even real jerseys. I mean,
But why did we have to buy practice jerseys?
because we don't have them. We don't have practice jerseys for all of our kids.
We played in t-shirts, our own t-shirts. We
Uh,
didn't have,
Some of these are reversible, so that when the students get out on the court, they can play one color against one color and actually see who their team members are. It's really difficult for the team members to differentiate who's who if they're.
okay.
I know where you're going with that.
That's fine. I mean,
I know where you're going with that. But here's the thing too, and I'm just gonna, I would like for our team to really have equipment and resources and everything else that sort of match what we're trying to do with our programs, which is to provide the best that we can for our kids.
okay.
And-
I mean, and I totally agree. I agree with you there, but if we don't have the money, we don't have the money.
Right, I get you 100%. Right now, we're working on trying to figure out what the increase is gonna cost us. I've asked them to regenerate the budget for the year
Mhm.
to see what it's gonna cost for all of our games, all of the reps, and any other additional costs that are gonna be spread across our basketball program.
Okay.
And once we get all the information, we can come back to the table and talk about it. The reason why I'm bringing it up today is to put the bug in your ear so that we can
Okay.
begin the process of thinking about what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And here's the thing, guys, I mean, if you guys tell me, hey, you know what, we don't wanna raise the price, I'm all about it. I just want us to think.
I'm thinking along the lines too, of being a little more inclusive on those that pay. I don't know how many freebies are coming in, but if they would pay $1 or $2,
That's just what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
Maybe
like a
that would
donation.
offset a
It's
lot
just
of it.
$1,
Right
because
there.
there's 60 of us that come in, you know.
Well, it's like the senior
62.
citizens, we used to, I
Yeah.
mean, the veterans, we just did it in November, but now y'all change it to all year.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that we could adjust, you know, November, when we have Veterans Day, they come in free. Other than that, you know, the time they pay $2. And that's not a big deal.
No.
Mhm.
And then,
The thing is, the basketball has to support everything else,
yeah.
you know. Now, volleyball did help. The girls, Nikki had the concession opened, and so they did make a little bit of money off of those things. So that's helped. Right now, they've got a pretty good balance in athletics. I haven't paid the bills for this month out of there for the concession stuff, but it's looking pretty good. But that's a couple of fundraisers. They got the red ribbon this year. You know, it used to go to Special Olympics, and Donna's not gonna be taking those trips. So she said athletic could take it, so that was a big boost.
One of the things I noticed the ball game the other night, it took a long time to get weighted, to get through the concession line. And it's because everybody's wanting popcorn. They're doing one bag at a time. When they run out of popcorn, they're gonna fix the next batch. No, let's make a bunch of popcorn up ahead of time and have, you know, put
Do
it
they
in.
not use the
Be like
popcorn
Atwood's.
machine?
Like,
Oh, yeah, we do.
They make,
no, it's they're
It
not.
was individual
They're not being
bags.
system smart with what they got.
We generally have
Well,
students
there's
running
also
the
kids
concession.
in there too.
Yeah.
when they're
Well,
probably
but
used
still,
to being
you know, I'm
adults.
saying, make a container or whatever that'll hold 25 sacks of popcorn, get it all in there when the door's open for the games, and to keep making it while you're,
yeah,
just
that's the
keep
way we used to
replacing
do
it.
it when I ran
well,
it,
that,
but
that needs to happen.
I don't
We'll
know
talk to 'em.
Do
if
it.
they
I'll
can't
talk to 'em.
find.
Yeah.
There was a problem, I don't know, I don't know if it still is, in getting the popcorn from Sam's and the popcorn oil.
Well,
But I don't know if that's still a problem.
Amazon it too.
well, I wouldn't let that slow us down any. I mean, we just, whatever we got to, we get some.
Yeah, we used to have,
popcorn
you know,
and
the
all,
big
but-
50-pound bags.
Yeah,
and
the
sticks
system
that
is
we
at
have.
flaw. It's not, we can produce a lot more
Yeah,
earlier.
and that
and
bag
keep
popcorn
that
does
thing
not
moving,
taste
'cause that's
good.
revenue.
If you've had it at
You're
the
right.
ball game, it's
You're
not
right.
good.
I can work on it.
Okay.
All right, next thing, our Veterans Day Assembly is coming up on, of course, Friday the 11th. Everyone is invited. We're gonna have veterans here. The students are gonna put on a program. I'll be doing the welcome for all of the veterans. And then we're gonna feed them. Miss Vogley is actually paying for all of the veterans to eat here, which is something really spectacular.
What day is that?
It's the 11th.
This Friday.
So it's actually gonna be on the 11th.
Hmm?
Mhm.
Okay. And at the time was?
I, 10?
It's gonna be, yeah.
Caught 'em.
I think it's
I
10.
caught
I
'em.
think it's 10 o'clock. Yes, it is.
Hey,
I'm
we've
sorry, I don't have
been
that
busy.
time down here.
We've been busy.
Okay, 10 a.m.
Yep.
on the 11th, Friday.
I will let you know if it's different.
Yep.
Okay.
Grandparents' Day is coming up Friday, November 18th. That's the day that all of the students are released for Thanksgiving. And we'll have Student and Reader of the Month Assembly, and then at 10 o'clock we have the Grandparents' Assembly. And that's going to be something great for, it's usually well attended. Yes, it is. November is Native American Heritage Month, and we have assembled a cultural committee to come up with ideas to teach our students about language, culture, songs, dance, drumming, and cultural protocol. So we're planning an assembly on November 29th after we get back. And what we're going to do is teach the students a little bit about our regalia, about dance protocols, maybe let them listen to some of the drumming and some of the songs. And so all of the ones that are going to be showcasing that are our students. So we're going to talk to our students and see if they will help us out there. We had a financial audit on November the 3rd. And they were here going through everything, to pull everything out. Still trying to put everything back. But initial indication is that we did a pretty good job on it, so that's good. They'll give us a full report, which I will present, or they will present, depending on how they want to do it.
They do. They call us here at the
Yeah.
board meeting.
Mhm.
Hopefully December, but it could be January.
Yep. And that'll take place probably at the beginning of the year. Return to Learn plan. Our kids that have been sick have been mainly the stomach flu and some sort of respiratory infection. There has been very little flu and almost no COVID. So that's really good. I don't recommend any changes to our plan. So I think we're in good shape for that. Questions or anything we need to go over?
Back to the basketball thing.
Yes.
If we had a minimum charge for the seniors and the veterans, we could also say that, whatever donation you want to make, it's a minimum, whatever price is going to be, but we appreciate donations because we need the funding. And you may have somebody, seniors come in here and throw 50 down there, throw 20 or 10 on there, and it only cost them $1, so that's just something.
Yeah, we can think about the solutions for that. What I would like to do is just make sure that we have all the information. This is just an idea to, try to get information to you
End of the
about
game.
what we need to talk about. Once we get all the information, I'll share it with everyone, and we can take a look at what solutions we want to come up with.
Okay. Item number 6, the statement of consent agenda. The following matters may be approved in their entirety by the board upon motion made, seconded and passed by a majority vote of the board members. However, upon request by any board member, any one or more of said matters will be removed from the consent agenda and acted upon separately. Item number 7, 7.1, consideration and possible board action to approve minutes of regular board meeting October 11, 2022. 7.2, encumbrances for board approval October 20, 2022. General fund encumbrance numbers 127 through 155. Building fund encumbrance number 17 through 19. Children nutrition encumbrance numbers 10 through 12. And activity fund report and the treasurer's report.
Do you want to vote on these separate?
I'll make a
No.
motion to accept both.
Yeah,
Okay.
need a second.
I second.
Thank you.
McKinney?
Yes.
Dale? Ramirez?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Cavalla?
Yes.
Okay, you ready for item number 9? Superintendent presentation of personal qualities.
This is part of the evaluation that's gonna be an ongoing presentation to the board members. And today I'm gonna be talking about personal qualities. The first one that I talked about were goals that were set for the school year. Hopefully we'll be able to score this evening on both of those, and we can take a look at
Line your
all of
way.
it. What I try to do is to outline the things that are inside of the rubric. Now, I didn't get to see the rubric until just a while ago, but as you get into the software sort of outlines the different components that you need to talk about. And the first one is ethics and integrity. And so I have a quote for you. Somebody once said that in looking for people to hire, you look for three qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. And if they don't have the first, integrity, the other two will kill you. That was said by Warren Buffett. So ethics, what do I want to work on in terms of ethics? And a lot of what I try to do is to work with the staff on providing a safe work environment, making sure that everything's safe. We have a lot of plans in place for what we're going to do to provide and work on the environment. Some of it is ongoing. We haven't completed it yet. Some of the things that we're trying to work on there, we're actually ordering. Some of it is gonna mean reconstructing some of the hallways, especially at the high school level, where those doors and locks need to be sort of changed out for a safer environment for everyone. It also means that we're gonna treat everyone with dignity and respect. And that means that all my interactions with the students, with the parents, with the teachers, is gonna be me treating them with respect and dignity. And that's how I wanna be as a role model. And it's not just about showcasing that component as a role model. It's about doing everything and making sure that you're showing what you want to the staff. I'm the first one here every single morning. I'll make sure that everyone sees me in their classroom. I try to get in there on a daily basis to the high school classrooms. I will tell you, if I have any fault at all, it's those little kids. And there's nothing scarier than walking into a group of really small kids and then wondering what's gonna happen in there. I'm sort of, that's not my environment. I was more of a secondary person.
Are you
and-
intimidated by the little ones?
Yes, it's like kindergarten cop. You ever seen that?
Mhm.
Pretty scary. But the little kids love me. I'm just gonna let you know. But I have delegated that out to Ms. Thomason to do the appraisals in there, and so I spend less time in the elementary classes, going down all the way to pre-K. And I spend more time in the secondary, all the way up through high school and the seniors. But I try to act as a role model. I talk to the students, I talk to our seniors. I have a number of students that I meet with regularly just to make sure that they're on the right track. And I make sure that I try to mentor them in a way that's gonna be helpful to them. So, act as a role model. And something that I think is really important is that you have a continuum of things that you do, that you constantly want to develop, to try to cultivate what you're trying to do on the campus. And that means treating people fairly, establishing rapport. I will go in there and just talk to the teachers one-on-one. I talk to them in faculty meetings too, but it's a lot more, you're a lot better at developing rapport if you're meeting with teachers one-on-one, and so that's what I do. I try to build relationships with the students, with the parents, and with the teachers, and I spend a lot of time doing that. It's something that you have to continuously do. It's not something that you can just say, okay, I'm gonna meet with you once and it's finished. If you really wanna build a campus with a great climate, if you wanna build a district with a great climate, you have to go out there and develop that continuously. There's a lot of times when either people have conflict, parents are not happy with teachers, students aren't happy with, decisions that are made, whatever it is, but dealing with conflict is one of the things that I really pride myself in. I work well with parents, I work well with students, I'll talk to them and try to get them back on track, and sometimes I have a tough talk with them and try to get them back on track. But working with them and dealing through the conflict is an important part, and sometimes you have to make really tough decisions. Helping to clarify misunderstandings and cultivating a family atmosphere are some of the things that I think are really important in order to build the campus and build your ethics. Integrity is also very important too. And what I do there is I try to prioritize the people. in order to have integrity, you need to be able to be dependable and treat everyone so that they understand exactly how you're gonna act at any given moment. So I prioritize people, and here's where a lot of districts and campuses make mistake, I think. They don't treat the teachers like they're experts. They don't treat them like they're, professionals in their field, and I do. I will tell you that I in my faculty meetings, I've already told the teachers, I do not understand science like the science teachers. I don't understand literature like the language arts teachers. I expect you guys to be experts in those fields and then help me to develop the campus. But I prioritize all of the people that are here. I don't bend the rules. So everyone needs to understand that about me. And the reason why you don't bend the rules and why that's part of integrity is because it takes you out from the umbrella of any legal protection that you might have. So if you bend the rules, all of a sudden you're finding yourself outside of that safe zone. And if you, are steadfast and make sure that you're following all the policies and protocols that you need to, you're always going to be protected. I address issues and make the tough calls when I need to. And that's not the best thing that I love about my job, but I'll tell you that I don't shy away from it either. I do make the tough calls. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about me, but I will apologize to you if I'm wrong. And I told the faculty right off the bat, I said, look, I'm apologizing to you right now because I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make you guys mad at some point. I'm going to make a decision that you're not happy with. But in order to really have that development that you need and the rapport with the faculty that you need and the parents and the students, you need to be able to say, you know what, at some point I'm going to have to apologize for some of the, things that I do that I make a mistake on. And that's everybody, everyone's human. Public speaking, I've done tons of public speaking, tons. But for this year, professional development, August 8th, I pretty much led that. I did it for the entire thing. Professional development, October 3rd, I did the entire thing. Welcome at the Fireman's Fundraiser, monthly board meetings. I'm gonna be doing the welcome for the Veterans Assembly. And I've been doing this sort of thing for a year. So public speaking is almost second nature by now. The self-improvement component of this, these are the trainings that I have to go to. The Costa Summer Leadership Conference I've already been to. Ongoing training in district administration. I have 9 of those meetings. I've been through 5 so far. I have 4 more to go. Ongoing school leadership training for the OSP, it's OPSRC, Oklahoma Public Schools Resource Center. TLE training, that's training for teacher appraisals, transportation director training, attending the Coastal Legislative Conference. I'm just telling you guys now, I'm going to the conference. 2023 in January. But those are the things that I need to do in order to improve what I and get what I need as an administrator to make sure that I'm leading in the right direction. And this has been ongoing, and I generally do this every single year. I go to a lot of training. Delegation of duties. This is really tough because you guys wouldn't expect that I would delegate a lot of duties, but I'm going to tell you that every good leader has to do that. And the reason why this is so important is because you cannot build capacity in your system unless you're delegating the duties out. And a lot of times what you do is you take a look at one of your leaders that you're working with, and you say, you know what, it's time for you to do this. Because it's time for them to learn how to take the next step. But here's what we have. We have Dean of Students, Ms. Patton, Dean of Students, Mr. McGuire, Assistant Principal and Counselor, Ms. Thomason, Athletic Director is Coach O'Brien, Facilities is Ms. Roberts. They all do a fantastic job. But here's the reports. I don't get these reports. I don't get these reports till the end of August, and then they're all due. Most of them were due in September. But look at the sheer number. There's no way that any one person can complete all of these on time unless you delegate it out. And this is aside from all of the day-to-day operations of the schools. These are just the reports that are due at the beginning of the school year. So you have to delegate all of this out. You have to make sure everyone has a little piece of this and they know how to do it. And if you don't, then you'll never get it all accomplished. I will tell you that all of these things are done. Everything on here is done except for the ELL federal, that's due December the 3rd, and the federal program audit, that's due December the 5th. We have accomplished all of these. pretty impressive list, I have to tell you.
There's a lot of gnashing and hair pulling.
With a lot of, yes,
Well,
with a
they-
lot of wondering whether or not we're gonna make our
And
deadline.
it was all accomplished on time?
They're all done on time? Yes.
Good job.
They're all done on time.
Good job.
The next two are December the 3rd and December the 5th, and we're knee-deep in those right now, trying to get them accomplished.
Now, you're meeting requirements of the state or of federal or both on these.
It's a mixture. Some of these are federal audits, but they're done by the state. And so,
So a lot of this is about funding.
yes.
Okay.
The Title I is a grant that we have, an application that we have to get out. The ESSER 2 and 3 are grants, and you have to re-budget those every single year. In the cases of those federal ones, ESSER 2, ESSER 3, and Title I, homeless, all of those are multi-page documents. The Title I is probably 30 pages of narrative and budgets and, you know, putting together all the pieces of the puzzle. And it's, you have to have a really firm grasp on what your goals are and what you're trying to do with the budget in order to get them accomplished. But delegation of duties, we could not get this done unless everyone picked up a little piece of this. I'm just gonna explain to you. The next set is professionalism. And I would like to talk to you about accountability. I make sure that everything is done on time. I like to try to get everything done early, and sometimes it has been pretty close to the wire, and by pretty close I'm saying within a couple of weeks of the deadline. I try to get things done early, but sometimes it's really difficult, especially with all of the day-to-day operations of the district and the schools going on. But I try to stay accountable and make sure that all of that's accomplished. And it's not just about making sure that those reports are done. It's about showing up every single day, and it's about making sure that the goals that you set for the district are actually accomplished. So the things like making sure that the electricity at the ag barn is redone so that it's not dangerous for the kids, that's been accomplished.
Mhm.
Making sure that we have a better looking gymnasium by taking down some of those humongous banners and putting up digital banners, that's being accomplished. We've actually put up those TVs and that's ready to go. Retiling, and I don't know if you guys have looked at the lobby and the main hallway of the high school. It looks really nice in there.
Mhm.
It looks really nice in there. So making sure that you are accomplishing the things that you want to do, that's part of the accountability process. Setting high expectations is another big component for me. I have to tell you guys this, and sometimes the teachers sort of gnash their teeth at me. I don't want them to, but I do expect them to understand that I have high expectations, and I cannot walk past something that I think is substandard. Because if you walk past something that's substandard, you just set a new low expectation for yourself and your community, your learning community that you have. And I just don't do those things. I work with staff, parents, and community, and I do my best to make sure that we're providing the very best for our students. And my goal, if nobody else understands this, is that I want the very best small school in the state. And if I have anything to do with it, we're gonna accomplish that.
Yeah.
Questions, comments?
The expectations that you have from the teachers and stuff, are they accepting the higher standard, the more accountability on a regular basis? Or?
I like the teachers here. We have some phenomenal teachers here. I mean, some really great teachers. I walked in and on some of the teachers, I'm just like, wow, you are so good. I'm so happy that you're here. I do my best to try to build them up as much as I can, because when you walk in there, you can't just find the negative things. You have to find the positives too. And when I walk in there and I see something that I think is below standards, I'll address it with the teachers. I'll generally document it by sending them an email, and not a formal documentation. But here's the things that I have a concern about, and the teachers will fix it, because they want the best too. They don't want something that's not up to expectation.
Yeah.
And we have some great teachers here.
We just want to make sure that, we've heard rumors that oftentimes teachers just want to collect a check. And that's why I'm asking you about the higher standard and the higher expectations. Some of them may just not want to do all that.
You bring up a great point, and I want to tell you my philosophy about change. because change is a phenomenon that occurs, but you have to do it in a certain way. And if you go too fast, it causes resistance. And when you get resistance, it slows down your whole progress for your goals. So the change has to take place in a way that is just at the right pace. If it's going too slow, you can prod it along, but if it's going too fast, you're gonna have a negative result, honestly. So the expectations that I'm setting for the teachers and the way that I'm going about doing it is to visit the classrooms, talk to them about what good instruction looks like, of course, visit the classrooms, and then bring them in on their evaluations, talk to them about what I think that they need to improve on, and then let's work on it. And we're gonna build this thing up to where we want it, but we're gonna do it in a way that the teachers feel like they can grow, and not a way that feels like I'm trying to catch them doing something wrong all the
Yeah,
time.
you want to create an atmosphere that they're invested
Yes,
in what they're doing.
yes.
And they need to, of course, like you said, you tell them when they're doing a good job. That goes a long ways for anybody.
Mhm.
So, yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay, we're at 9.2, is that correct?
Yep.
Consideration and possible board action to approve military recruiter access policy.
That policy is inside of your packet. When we collect federal funds, there's a requirement to have a recruiter policy. And I'm just gonna tell you, from my personal standpoint, it's just the right thing to do. Our students need to have an opportunity to take a look at the armed services as part of something that they can do past high school. And just last week, we had the Army recruiters out here. So it's something that we'll post up on our website if the board approves it. And we make sure that we have that access for the students. It's really something great. We have Fort Sill right down the road, and we want them to come down here and support our students, and if the students are interested, go into the military services.
Do we need to bring a vote
Yes.
to this?
Could
Okay.
this-
Yep.
Could this lead to like ROTC in this small of a school?
ROTC, in order to have an ROTC program, as I understand it, we'll have to find someone that can lead it.
Yeah, that would be,
But it's something we can explore, for sure. I don't mind looking into it.
if there's enough interest, I don't, and you'll see once we start doing this.
And we have recruiters here every year,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have one or two almost every year.
Mhm.
Oh, we
Now,
had
is it from
three,
the
I
four
think, this
major-
year that signed.
Army, Air Force.
It's usually the Army and Marines, and I think the Air Force and Navy possibly, but usually it's Army and Marines.
Somebody went to Navy.
We got 2 Air Force bases within 50 miles of us, so
Mhm.
that might be someplace they'd want to make
That Army
contact
base
with them.
kinda close too, so.
Okay. Okay, we need a motion to approve the military recruiting access policy. I'll make that motion.
Oh, second.
You?
McKinney,
Yes.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavall.
Yes.
Okay, item number 9.3, consideration and possible board action to approve student transfer numbers.
These are actually the numbers that I went over during the last board meeting. Again, it's our in-district and then our number of students that we have transferring in, and then how many open slots that we have. If the board approves these numbers, I just post them on the website as our actual numbers, and I'll do that immediately.
Did these change any?
No,
No, no change.
no.
We have a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve transfer numbers.
I'll second it.
McKinney,
Yes.
Ramirez. Yes. Cook,
Yes.
Cavall.
Yes.
Item 9.4, consideration and possible board action to approve 2022-2023 homeless policy.
This homeless policy is something that needs to be renewed. It has no major changes to it from the one that we had previously, but it gives a process for services and what happens if parents disagree with any part of the process. So there's a dispute component to it.
Item number 9.5, consideration and possible board action to approve dates and times of the 2023 monthly board
Well,
meetings
we'll
on
have
the
to-
development list. Huh?
You
We'll
gotta
have to make a
vote
vote.
Okay, I'm sorry.
on number
That's
4.
okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay.
McKinney,
Yes,
Ramirez,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavalla.
Yes.
Okay.
okay. Thank you for slowing me down. Okay, 9.5.
Take it out.
Consideration and possible board action to approve dates and times of 2023 monthly board meetings on developed list.
So, the board meeting dates for, 2023 have been developed.
They're in
and
here.
They're in the,
In here?
let's take a look at them and see if
It's
we can approve them.
Basically the second Tuesday. Some
I think
are
it's the
awful
whole
early like
paper from the
this.
back.
It's the same as, it's just gonna continue the same.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
McKinney,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavalla.
Yes.
Just jumping into this.
Okay, item 9.6, consideration and possible action on going into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, and disciplining of or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee, and to conduct ongoing superintendent evaluation as identified in accordance with the provisions of 25 OS Section 307B1. Do we need or have a vote to, do we need to go into executive session?
That's for the evaluation piece.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
That's up to,
Yes. Okay. Would someone make the motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second?
Was that,
I'll second.
okay.
Okay.
McKinney,
Yes.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavalla.
Yes.
It is 6:37.